Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first and a very important Eva Pro Hair Zoom podcast. We're actually here today to dive into Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves before we get into all the fun stuff. My name is Sin. I'm the account marketing manager, and my family is from the Dominican Republic. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Vic.
Hi, everyone. I'm Vic. I'm the social media manager for Eva. My family is from Mexico. I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Aleja.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aleja. I'm the content creator here at Eva, and my family is from Colombia. I'm going to pass it to Danny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danny Sanchez. I'm the graphic designer here at Eva, and my family is also from Colombia.
Colombians are winning. Colombians are super creative, and I feel like they're all over the music industry right now. So I love myself some Colombians. I had to shout you guys out really quick.
Oh, yeah.
So again, this is a very important and very first Zoom podcast that we're doing, and we're going to just touch on a little bit of the history of Hispanic Heritage Month and what that all means to us. So with that being said, a little background or a little history lesson in the Hispanic heritage and how it all started. It started in 1968, if you guys aren't familiar, and it started as just a little week. It was a week celebration to acknowledge all the efforts and all the amazing things that the Hispanic and the Latin community have done for this nation. And then in 1988, it span into a full month. So now we get to celebrate and just acknowledge the amazing things that, again, the Hispanic and Latin community have done for America and just overall everywhere in the world.
All right, so to begin, let's go ahead and do some fun questions. So everyone here loves food. Who doesn't love food, right? So let's all go around. Let's say our favorite dish from our country. Mine has to be aguachiles. Have you guys had aguachiles before?
Never.
Oh, they're so good. It's almost like raw shrimp, but it's cooked in lime and like all of this like super like spicy salsa, which then like cooks the shrimp. It's like super, it's a very weird texture, but oh my gosh, it's so good. And like some places you go and it's really, really spicy, you're like, eyes watering and everything. And that's when it's really good. Ale, yours.
Sorry, they kind of of ceviche. Would you say it's similar to?
It's super similar, yeah, except I feel like it's definitely like spicier. It's known as like an appetizer, so people will get it like before their meal, or if you're having like a michelada, that's like the perfect side with it. But yeah, it's just like the shrimp, or they'll do like some pepino, some like onions here and there. It's so good. I'll have to like send you guys a place near you so you could try it.
Yes.
Honestly, I have to say, so some of us are in different areas. I'm in South Florida, and we have no good Mexican food here. I'm gonna just call it out. There's nothing. I can't find a good, authentic Mexican place. If you guys out there know of a place in South Florida, please put it in the comments and then honestly, Vic, if you could mail us some overnight, that would be maybe a better idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds delicious.
All the West states get the good Mexican food. Like
Yeah.
I'm always thinking that. Like even like fast food is good. Like even Del Taco is perfect. In days we get like the really bad.
Well, just so everyone knows, I'm in California. So I'm actually in San Diego, super close to the border. A lot of us just like cross the border to get like the best Mexican food. Like everyone knows, if you want the best, just go to Mexico and get it. It's the best way to get it.
Totally. If I was you, Vic, I couldn't pick one. Like your guys' food is so good. That's my favorite food, like of all of them. Mexican food. Like
My favorite food is Mexican food. I can eat, but then again, I think about it and I'm like, I don't feel like I've even had like real deal authentic Mexican food. So it's like,
it's so different too, because when you grow up with it, like, and your mom and like your abuelita are like making it, your standards are so high. So it's like almost disappointing when you go sometimes, and it's like, damn, like my grandma could have made this better, like what it really tastes like tortillas de chamano, like everything, like what the good stuff is.
so good.
And then Aleja, what's your favorite food?
Okay, mine has to be empanadas. I love empanadas with ají, which is like spicy. I could eat empanadas all day. Like basically like I'm an empanada. Like I eat empanadas all the time. And also we have here chicharrón, which is like the pork belly, but it's like cooked differently because they chop it and it's super nice. I love both of them. Those are like my favorites. I can eat it all day, like literally.
Yeah, chicharrón is like, that's also one of my favorite. I can't resist. I can't.
Miss it. I miss it. I haven't had pork or red meat in like over, oh my gosh, it's been maybe 7 years or something crazy.
Wow.
So when you say chicharrón, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm super sad. I wish I had it. Yeah.
That's hard. I feel like for me, like being Mexican, I feel like it'd be so hard for me.
Oh my God,
Okay, so
it was such a controversy for my family. Like again, I'm Dominican, so it's like my family was almost like that. I don't even understand what you're telling me right now, that you don't eat pork or red meat. That I don't. Do you want the pork or red meat? And it's like, no, I can't. Like I told you. I love empanadas too. Oh my gosh.
So I think should we just flow into Colombia and let Danny
yeah.
tell us what she loves?
Perfect. So we didn't plan this, but my favorite Colombian food is also empanadas. So much so that sometimes I'll just go to different Colombian restaurants. I'm also from South Florida, so I'll go to different Colombian restaurants just to try the different empanadas, just to see which one I like the best. Definitely with ají. My favorite ones are the meat empanadas. But I have to say, I agree with you, Vic. There's nothing like the food that my mom makes. Every time I try an empanada, I'm like, my mom could have made this better.
Yeah.
And it's so disappointing because my mom, like, she doesn't like making them so often because they're so time consuming. But every time she does, I'm like, please make extra, freeze them. I'll keep them forever. And I'll like make them throughout the days because they're so, so good.
That's how I feel about chile rellenos. Have you guys had those?
I've seen them. I've never tried them though.
It's the same thing. Like it's a whole process, and like I always ask my grandma to make them when I go visit, and she's in the kitchen like all the time. You know how abuelitas are. It's like you can never get stuffed. Literally, like they think you're always starving. So she's always like, "Oh, ¿qué quieres comer? Like what else do you want? Like all this and that." So yeah, the chile rellenos are definitely like the first thing I ask for, but it's like a deep fried like big chile stuffed with, usually it's like they can use different cheeses, but like mine it's queso fresco is like my favorite one. And you can't get that like at the taquerias and stuff. Like the queso fresco is like, I guess it's more expensive to make, so a lot of places just use like Monterey Jack here in like San Diego, which is so sad.
Totally. Don't you guys, when you go to your abuelita's house, she thinks that you're starving? Like if you say you don't want anything to eat, they're gonna like push you to eat. They're gonna be like, so what do you have today? ¿Qué has comido?
Yeah.
Do you want to eat? Do you want to eat? Do you want to eat? And they have like the whole thing. Oh my God. And if you don't eat, they will ask you like, are you sick? Like, is that?
Yes.
It would always happen to me when I would go visit my family in Colombia. I would always be like, yeah, you could serve me a little. And then I would get a plate with a mountain of food. And I'd be like, I'd feel I can't say no, we're visiting. It's rude to not eat it all. So I'd have to keep on stuffing my face.
It's like it's that big plate, but then it's also another equal amount of plate for you to take home, if not 2 plates to take home. So it's
Yeah.
big. And just in speaking about abuelas, like I don't want to say they live in the kitchen, but they start cooking like from, I don't know, anywhere from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's like, Mama, what you doing in the kitchen? Making the dinner already. Like you're starting the dinner at 11 a.m. Okay. And then she's just, yeah, like you said, Ale, just feeding you all day. And it's like, how do you expect me to eat this meal when I've eaten 3 meals already from you? But
Yeah.
definitely.
And I'm dying to hear your favorite food, just because I'm not very familiar with like Dominican culture. So
But yes, so my favorite, number one, like I know you mentioned we all love food, but I have to tell the viewers, like every Zoom call that we get on, I am literally eating in every Zoom call. So I really love food. I don't want to say I love food more than everybody else, but I am eating almost at all times of the day. But my favorite meal from the DR it's called Tres Golpes, but it's basically mangu, which is mashed green plantain, salchicha, which is sausage. But like I mentioned, I don't eat pork or red meat, so I've replaced it with a plant-based sausage, a plant-based chorizo, but it's really good. And then queso frito, so fried cheese. And that is just, I can literally eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, having, you know, some red onions involved, sauteed red onions. It's just my favorite meal. I can literally eat mango at any point of the day. I'm such a, I was gonna say I'm such a fatty, but for real, like I eat a lot. But yeah, that's my favorite dish from the DR. I feel like it really represents the DR because again, we can eat it for breakfast, we can eat it for lunch or dinner. Like it's a meal, especially if you involve some eggs in there. That's definitely a breakfast meal. But yeah, that's my favorite. Tres golpes.
Gosh, I'm so hungry now. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next question before I like and leave early to go grab some of these dishes because I cannot. What do you love about being, you know, whatever it is that your culture is? So I can start with this. I take so much pride in like being Mexican. I feel like my family, I know that they've come such a long way to be here. And so I see all of like the challenges they went through and, you know, the things that have changed within that time also. And I think that they're the reason that I'm like so prideful about it and like really appreciative of it. I think I could speak for everyone here. Like when you're of like a Latin culture, there's just this like, I hate to sound like so cliche, but like this fire in you that like you like are very true to like who you are and like you want to represent your culture and all of that stuff. So for me, it's obviously the food, the music, like we just said, but it's more than that. It's knowing that, you know, we've gone through a lot and we're here we are now. And it means so much to like me personally to like set these goals for myself and accomplish them and like be able to go back to my abuelita and tell her, hey, I did this and this, you know, it just, she gets so happy and so prideful. And I think for me, it's just that it's knowing how much like we love our culture and we love like our heritage and our traditions and like we want to keep that alive. Like it's unheard of to think of like stopping that when like the next generation comes. And it's just amazing to see how like as the generations grow, like we just progress and progress and progress. And I just want to see that for everyone. And I think it's just very moving. But yeah, those are probably my favorite things. Started off real deep. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. Let's go Sin.
Well, what I love about this team and, you know, what I feel like we really connected and related on was the fact that our family did come from these countries and they came to give us a better life. So I definitely have to agree that one of the main things I love about being Dominican is that, you know, while they came to America to provide a better life, the traditions and the culture and, you know, the family time was never something that we stopped or we changed. So family is super huge part of my family. And I love that about being Dominican. I love that we can get together and we can be loud and we can be obnoxious and just us and that's okay. You know, one of the biggest things again that I love about my culture is how important family is. I of course love the food. We're gonna bring it back to food for sure. I love Caribbean food. I love Dominican food. I really do feel very much prideful being Dominican. I love that I love that part about me. I love that I can share that with people. My little sister right now, I have to kind of like, I know you mentioned the next generation, and I really want to like show her how important, how amazing it is that we are Dominican, that we are Hispanic women, and how different we are, how almost, I don't want to say exclusive, but I feel like it's very cool that we are Hispanic, but at the same time we can, you know, really make a difference here in this country that we are now. And I know I also went maybe somewhere a little deep, but family is one of the best things that I love about my culture and being Dominican and how important family is. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Danny.
So for me, I feel like my entire life it's felt a little weird just because I was born in Colombia, but I came here when I was 4 months old to the US. So I've always been kind of between like I'm too American to be like when I go back to Colombia, I'm too American, or here like I'm not like too Colombian, or like I don't fit into anything. So it's been kind of a struggle to find that middle ground. But over time I found the pride in being Colombian, and I love being, you know, having both, you know, aspects of me and both identities, being both Colombian and American. But I especially love, and I'm super proud of being Colombian, and just the entire culture is something that's so beautiful to me. I wish I could travel Colombia more and more often. Obviously the pandemic put a stop to that, but I want to see all of Colombia. I want to see, you know, where I came from, where my ancestors are from, just because like I think my entire family's from Colombia. I don't really know. Like I think all of, you know, I don't know of anyone, I don't know where my lineage comes from. So I'm assuming for the most part it's all Colombian. And yeah, I don't know. I just, from the music to the culture, the people, the sights, especially the people. I just love how welcoming everyone is. It's such a contrast going between kind of like South Florida and Bogota, which is where I was born and my family for the most part lives, because everyone in Bogota is very, very warm. Like your neighbors know you. You go to like walk your dog and everyone on the street is saying hi because they all know each other. And here you go for a walk around your neighborhood and everyone is kind of like, who are you? You barely say hi. And it's just like such a weird difference. And it feels almost kind of cold here. And I just love how like warm and how much of a sense of community and friendship, and you kind of become family with the people that you're close to over there, even if you're not related by blood. And I just think that's beautiful. I definitely want to continue all of the traditions that my family has taught me and passed on to me, from the food to like Christmas traditions. We do novenas, and it's like this whole Christmas celebration. And it's really funny because being from South Florida, we have so many people from different nationalities here. And every time I tell them about like what we do for Christmas and how we sing and like we read and we pray and stuff like that, everyone thinks it's so weird, but I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to eventually, when I have my family and have my kids, I want to, which is a couple of years down the line. But when that does happen, I definitely want to make sure that they keep the tradition and that we keep on doing those little things. You know, we might be now in the US and we might adopt some more American lifestyles or perspectives, but I want to make sure that my culture and the things that are special to me is something that I definitely want to carry on, at least with my family, for as long as I can.
That's amazing. I love that. I feel like I can relate to you, kind of similar but kind of different, where like you feel like sometimes you aren't enough, like you're not Colombian enough. Like I've felt that before. I'm very like light complected, and I feel like a lot of people are always like, oh, like you're not Mexican, like, you know, you don't look Mexican. And it falls in, you know, there's a bunch of reels on it right now where it's like, oh, you don't look this. And I think people are coming to realize like we all look so different, you know, and that doesn't make us less of what we are. And I think, you know, what's more important is like, again, how you take it, how you know, live with it, and if you're like kind of nurturing it and things like that. And yeah, I think that that's one thing that I struggled with for a really long time, was just always feeling like, like I'm not Mexican enough, or I'm not Latina enough. And you know, it just, there's always so much pressure, like so much pressure. And now I've just gone to the point where, you know, if people think that, then that's fine. But like, I'm very happy with who I am. I love who I am, where I came from. I know that I like am very invested in like the culture and like who I am. So that's all that should matter, really. But I love that you mentioned that.
I have to say the same. Like, I've always felt growing up in middle school and high school, being in South Florida, Danny, you know, may not be, sometimes there's some friendly areas, sometimes there's not the friendliest areas, but I can relate to you both, where it's like, you know, I've at some point never felt, you know, like I was Dominican enough, or that I was Dominican at all. I've had people, after I've told them that I am Dominican, they would straight up say, no, you're not Dominican. And it's like, okay, so like, it then makes you second guess, like, okay, well then what am I, or who am I? And we shouldn't have those conversations.
Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
We love Big's dog Leia, so we definitely want to shout her out, guys. But yeah, no, I relate to you both, and that's another reason this is maybe separate to what we're talking about, but that's also why I really love working with you guys, is because we have that shared, you know, kind of experience, and it's nice to have people to talk to about that. And I'm just gonna pass it to Ali. I know Ali, we both kind of veered off there, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know which topic to pick now because I have so much to say of both. But we finish it up with like being from here or there. I struggle with that a lot since like my family job was in between. So we always have to be here or be there. And for here, I was called gringa all my life. Like everybody calls me gringa, gringa. And over there, like, they're like, oh, you look so pale. Like, why do you have an accent? And I'm like, I'm not, like, I'm Latino and I'm from here and this and that. And I grew up in New York, in Miami, Medellin. So I have like a ton of like multicultural in my head. But I think for that, and if my kids go through that, and if like whenever I have my family go through that, I'm gonna say like, this is what you can make your life the most. Like, you are from that, you have the whole world in your head. So that's when I was little, I used to like be super hard on myself for that. But then I grew up and I was like, no, this is the best thing that can happen to me. Basically, because I have like a ton of like cultures in my head. I have like, I'm bilingual, I'm this and that. So I'm super, super happy to be like this. And I want to pass on that to the other generations and the people around me, basically, because I struggle with that a lot. And like what I love about the whole Latino thing, I think that we enjoy life so much. We enjoy life. I really, really go out. I love to dance. I love like the rumba, the fiestas. I love the music. I love people like getting to know you. Like, no, nobody cares, but they will like talk to you like, hi, this and that. And people is super warm, but also like super, I don't know, like happy, like really alegre, like that. So that's what I love the most. I love everything that you guys said. I love family. That's my number one, like always, always number one, my family. And also when you make friends that are Latinos or like basically in our own like back countries, they stick to you forever. And that's something weird, but that's something that happens like with other cultures. I never had like a friend forever. Like, yes, we hang out and that's it. But when I leave like the country or whatever, like I won't get to know anything about the person. But here, like I have friends since I was like 4 years old and I haven't lived my life completely in one place. So I love that about Latinos. We're like forever together, basically. We're like a forever person. So yeah.
It's just like an automatic connection. I don't know how to explain it. Like, even you go to a store and like, the person working there is Latino, or you go to a restaurant and your waiter or waitress is Latino, like as soon as you speak to them in Spanish, or it's just automatically you guys are friends. Like, you guys have known each other forever. All right. So next question, let's go into our hair, because that's kind of what we're about. So let's go into our hair. Let's explain your hair type. And like, I guess if you could tie that into your culture, kind of what you see a lot in your culture, what people expect, your hair to kind of look like. I can start with that too. So I have like medium, it's pretty straight. It's not like pin straight. You got a little bit of movement in there, but straight for the most part. And I feel like for me, it's more so like when I was younger, my hair was really, really light, like a lot lighter. I've never dyed it before. It's like my natural color, but it was a lot lighter because obviously I'd be in the sun. And I don't know if your hair like probably changes after a while, but I don't spend as much time in the sun now. So it's definitely a lot darker. But I remember I used to like go to my tia's house and they would like, they like, oh my gosh, like your hair's so light, and they loved that. And it's almost like because they saw like in the novelas and stuff, all the girls had like this long, dark, like thick black hair. And so they like loved that it was different. But to the point that once it like got even like the tiniest bit darker, they would send me home with this can of chamomile tea, like the little like herbs, and be like, Mija, when you go home, like go brew this with hot water and take a bath in it. And we need to soak your hair so it goes lighter again. So they would literally send me home with that. I never did it, but it was just like, I would never forget that, to think that like they like wanted my hair to look that way because it was like different. Yeah, so that's my experience. Danny, let's hear from you.
For me, I remember when I was little, I used to like, I mean, I don't remember. I just remember from pictures, but my hair used to be curly, and now I don't really know what my hair is. I would say it's definitely medium coarse, I think. It is not straight, but I don't know if it would be wavy. It's just sometimes there's waves, but not everywhere. My hair is color treated, but I would say like this dark brownish is my natural hair color. And I feel like I never really liked it. I don't know why. Maybe it is because of those, like, everyone, all of the Colombians have that dark, like, rich long hair, or all Hispanics do, and like that's what they show in the novelas, the perfect hair, and it's always dark. And I don't know, I never really liked it. So I've always like dyed my hair. I don't dye it super often, but yeah, I don't know, I've always felt like my mom has always definitely also put an importance in my hair. I don't know if because of her I've never cut it, or I mean I do cut it but not ever super short. My sister had beautiful long hair, and then she cut it like all the way up to here, and my parents hated her for it. And so I don't know if because of that that's influenced me or something, but my mom has always been like, take care of your hair, it's the frame of your face, it's so important. And it is, but I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's like, it was like a lot of pressure for my hair, and I was always like, is it shiny enough? Is it like, let's do treatments on it, let's make sure it's perfect, like spectacular, just like the novelas. And I just feel like that's sometimes such an unrealistic expectation, just because they have hairstylists, and like I feel like through the camera, like face and hair and like body, everything looks perfect, but in real life it's such a different, like if you see these actors or something in real life, they look way different. They're not perfect, we all have imperfections, but sometimes it's hard to realize that when all you see is like the perfect hair and all the beach waves, or the perfectly straight. And I feel like my hair's never been like that. It's always like, especially being in South Florida, it's always humid, it's always raining, my hair's always going to be like frizzy or in a knot, just because of how much hair I have, and how much like movement and all the humidity and everything. And it's never been like the perfect hair. And sometimes I do look at other girls and I'm like, wow, I wish I had their shiny hair. But everyone has their own like hair problems, and like it's taken me a while, but I definitely am happy where I am with my hair now, kind of. I still want to cut it. It's due for a trim, but yeah, I feel like for the most part it's kind of just been that. I don't know if, I mean, I still want to I've never really liked how the super dark hair looks on me. I still want to do like a light brown, but I don't know if I'd ever go like full blonde. I don't know if that would look well with my complexion or anything. But yeah, that's basically for me.
And speaking to that too, like I know that we're speaking like more specifically about like Hispanic, like, the people that we see, and that we're like, oh, we want to look like that, or like, oh, that's like what beautiful is. But like, speaking more general, like even anyone, right? Like, I feel like so many people look up to like these celebrities and, artists, and, and it's so unrealistic, like you're saying. And I think it's just like embracing what you have, and, loving yourself for what it is. I saw this thing on social media not too long ago where it was like body positivity. And it was saying like, I love my body, not because like the way it looks, but because like I'm here, and it's like keeping me alive, and I'm living in it, and I get to live my life in it. And it's like, that's the reason you should love like your body, your hair, like everything, and we focus too much on other people. And I think that it does get to everyone's heads for sure. And it's tough sometimes, but it's just about what makes us feel good.
Agreed.
Ale, what about you?
So for me, it was the same as you, Vic, the chamomile, like manzanilla, all the way since I was little. I always had this like dirty blonde. It became like, it started like super blonde, and then it went to like super blonde to super like dirty blonde, but it never got brown. And sometimes it looked like reddish. Like if you see my roots, it can get like a little reddish. But they never let me touch it, so I couldn't like bleach it. I couldn't do anything, only chamomile, and that's it. And like even like the girl that always like cut my hair, she was like, you will never let nobody touch your hair. Nobody can touch your hair. And I grew up like that. I think it was like when I was like 21, I decided to bleach it. But it was like the huge decision. Like all my family was like into it, and everybody was like, oh, you bleach your hair, you finally did it, this and that, you shouldn't touch your hair. And it was a whole thing. And as for like being Latino with like a lighter color hair, it was super weird, because when I was a kid, people used to like talk to me when we were little, and they were like asking me, why do I have an accent? Why do I haven't, because I changed school so much, and I always was a new girl. So they were like, so so where are you from? And I'm like, Colombia, but Colombians don't look like that. And I was like, yes, we do look like this pale, dirty blonde, like this kind of like facial expression. So yeah, that was like basically my whole hair journey. And I'm also curly. So as same as Danny, Colombians are really into like hair. It's crazy, like it's insane. So we do keratins and we do like treatments and we have to have straight hair. And I used to have like curly hair and I never liked it. So I used to not color treat my hair, like treat my hair to it for being like straight, like kind of like a permanent, but like for being straight. And I used to do that since I was a kid because like the pressure was so big. Like here, everybody has like because I'm in Medellin, I haven't said that. And people have like long hair, like super natural, super pretty. So it definitely is like a pressure for Colombians. Like girls here have like the beautiful hair, like people are super, super into hair. And I grew up like with curly hair and this weird color basically. So it was weird for me, but then I started like treating it and bleaching it and doing whatever I wanted with it. And I'm super happy with the texture right now and everything that I have now. So yeah. And Satan, you can take up.
Awesome. I mean, I feel like, you know, at the end, we almost can kind of relate to each other's stories because hair honestly in the Hispanic and the Latin community, I think it's just very important. And it's also something that you shouldn't change or touch or like mess with too much. But at the same time, you know, being Dominican and going to Dominican salons when I'm a little girl, Dominican salons are huge in New York. I grew up in New York and then I moved to South Florida. And there's tons of Dominican salons in South Florida. And it's all about for the most part, it's really about changing if you have curly texture, if you have thick textured hair, it's all about making it straight. And so growing up, I was doing a lot of that, a lot of blowouts, a lot of keratin treatments, straightening my hair, damaging my curls, and my hair is curly, and I have it's like medium to coarse hair texture. And yeah, growing up, it was all about straightening and having straight hair and having pretty much the opposite of what I looked like and to look like something else. And so, you know, when it came to color, I was a little rebellious and I colored my hair all the colors you could think of on the rainbow. I cut my hair to a pixie cut and my family was like, oh my God, what have you done? Like you said, Ale, your family is like, absolutely not. You can't cut your hair or you can't color it, but you can straighten it and mess up your curls. So it's like, okay, so what are you gonna let me do with my hair pretty much? So I think that's why I had like my little rebellious moment of, you know, the really short cuts and having like lime green hair and orange hair and like all the colors. And then, you know, the past year, because I was doing that for a few years, the past year, I don't know if it is attributed to quarantine, but you know, being at home, not really doing so much to the hair, I really started appreciating my curls again. And I know that kind of came back around later on in life, but I really love my curls. And I think in today's day, people are starting to appreciate their natural texture, which I love seeing. Not staying away from the hair color is a little hard for me. I obviously still color treat it and bleach it, but just appreciating the curls a lot more lately, and my natural texture has been huge. And yeah, that was, I don't even know if I touched on.
No, yeah, that's perfect. I'm so happy you actually brought that up about like your natural texture and embracing that, because I feel like that's one thing we all like really relate to with Eva and like love about Eva is, you know, we want all of our followers and everyone that like has to do with Eva to know that you should be embracing like whatever it is you want to embrace. You know, if you want to do your hair a certain way, go for it. If you want to leave your hair natural, go for it. And like that's what I love, because I feel like all these other brands, it's a lot of like perfect hair, right? The hair, like there can't be one hair out of place. It needs, especially the professional brands. And I kind of love that we're very authentic and like raw in that way. And, you know, it's showing real hair, and that's that's I think what makes us who we are, and letting people know that, you know, we hear you and we love that about you. So you should love that about yourself too.
Definitely. And just as a little insight, when we started the brand and we started creating the content with Ale and Danny, and the models that we chose and the hair types that we chose, it was very unfiltered. We just kind of enhanced the natural hair texture, and left it as is. And we've had people, give advice on our marketing aspect, and it's like, well, the hair doesn't look like how a Pantene commercial would be, like very perfect. And then when I heard that, because I was in this meeting, I was like, well, you know what? That's actually perfect, because Ava is for the everyday human, for any kind of hair texture. It's really to enhance what you have. It's not to change what you have or alter what you have. And like Vic says, you can color it, you can dye it, you can cut it. It's what you want to do with your hair. And Ava is just here to pretty much enhance that and help you along with loving your hair the way you want to.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. And when we kind of like did the casting, we were like into getting like different textures and different people, like like the diversity, and get like the most out of the products, since if like Eva has a product for every single texture there is, exactly like whatever you need we have. So we wanted to embrace that, and the models loved it, and it was a really, really good time, because we wanted to show their hair as it is. They're so used to getting into a shoot and having people like blow out their hairs and like treat it and making braids and stuff like that. They were so used to that. But we were like, just come clean with clean hair and we will take care of your hair. We will not change it. We will not make it straight. We will not damage it. So it was super nice to see them feel comfortable in their own, in their own hair, in their own human being.
I feel like that really impacted a lot of how that shoot went, just because you could see in the pictures, in the videos, and everything that we did, they just felt so empowered. And it was because they were being authentically themselves. And I feel like if there's anything that you should take away from watching this, it's that you should feel empowered in being yourself, whatever that is, whether it's your identity, nationality, your hair, whatever it is, just feel empowered in being you, because that is your biggest superpower.
Absolutely.
What a nice little segment here.
Love it. Okay, well, this is the perfect, actually, like little segue. So we have some products to share with you guys. We actually picked our favorite products. So we all have different hair types. So we're going to share our products, kind of go around. I'm going to have Ale start first. And then, yeah, we'll go around and share and just explain how to use the product, all that stuff too.
Perfect. So I'm mostly known in the company for talking about my favorite product. Everybody knows, everybody knows which one it is. So because I love it so much, and it's the Capillo Jojoba Rain, Jojoba Rain, whatever it is. I loved it. I started using it when I got all the products basically, and this stood out to me. And I used this before like blow drying my hair basically, or maybe like after showering, just put it on. And if you're gonna blow dry it, it's gonna look like shiny gray. You can see it. I use it before doing this, and it's super, super nice. I love it, and I go through this a ton. Like I have to tell Zane to send me more, and I'm like, I needed this for a shoot or whatever, but I always end up with them in my shower, basically. And as for like a second one that I've been loving lately is this beach spray, which is like, this is what I did today, and these are like heatless curls. So I put it in a braid and I spray this and slept with that, and when I woke up I let it down, and it turns out like this. So what I've noticed about this beach spray is that it doesn't make it like dry, like super, super dry. Since I have bleach hair, I like none of the beach sprays, salty sprays can work for me, because I have like really bleach hair, so it will make it like drier. But for this, if you use a little bit, don't go like the whole 9 years, use a little bit, and you can get like kind of like this shiny look. But this is my all-time favorite.
And the smell of the jojoba, oh my God, that's my favorite smelling product we
People
have.
tell me like, what are you using? Why does it smell so good? Like, it's definitely this.
It
Definitely.
stays on your hair. Yeah. Like when you go hug people, they're like, what is that? Is that any perfume? It's like, it's Eva. Like,
One of the best Ava tips you've ever given me, Aleja, is the jojoba spray before blow drying. It changed my hair routine completely. It's so amazing. I love it.
soft and shiny. And, oh, it's amazing.
Definitely.
Danny, what are your favorite products?
So my favorite products, I'm big on hydration. I love, as I said, like my mom would always put like mayonnaise or like some eggs or aloe on my hair to make sure that it was always shiny. So that's kept on, but I kind of elevated. Now I'm using actual products. So my all-time favorite product is definitely the Control Frizz. I actually lost the cap to it because I carry it with me all the time. I'm still a college student, so I carry it in my book bag. If I'm ever having like a bad hair day, I just like put a little bit on my hands and rub it all over my hair. And it honestly makes such a difference. I just feel like it hydrates the hair, and not in just like an oily, like covering way, more so like it makes it look, I don't know, like healthier, if that makes sense. Because my hair is a little bit like bleached, and I heat treat it every once in a while. So it definitely makes that big difference. And I love the Hydro shampoo. This is definitely something that I always have to use when I wash my hair. Sometimes I do use some of the like the blue shampoos for, so that my hair is not as brassy, but even if I do, I always have to make sure I use this, just because this hydrates my hair so much. I feel like if you don't use at least for me, if I don't use a hydrating shampoo, like even if I use a hydrating conditioner or I put treatments afterwards, if the shampoo is too harsh for my head or my hair, it makes kind of like that sets a tone for the rest of however I'm gonna have my hair until I wash it again. So I always have to make sure to use the Hydro shampoo from the E-line collection because it's amazing. So now, Sin, you can take it out now.
Number one, I do want to give a shout out to the beach spray that Ale shared, because I also love that beach spray. It's not one of the ones I have here, but that one is not only good for straight or wavy hair texture, but also for curls and for tightly curled hairs. One of our models that Ale was referencing has a beautiful afro, and she loves the beach spray because it enhances the volume of her hair. So I love the beach spray. But my favorites are the Eline Rizzy Mousse. I really like this one. I've been using it kind of backwards. I've been using this one to refresh my curls. So I'll use this like on my day 2, 3, maybe 4 day hair. Like Danny, I don't wash my hair every day. I kind of go in between a few days before I wash it. So I really have been liking the mousse to refresh my curls. I was one day just kind of trying it out. I was like, let me test this out. And I scrunched some of the mousse in my frizzy nest. And it like, then my curls kind of popped out again. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start using it this way. But I do use it as well when my hair is wet after I've washed it. That's why I like it, because I feel like I can use it before or after. So this is one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites is the Vitamin Recharge Butter. This one I will say is for curly and thick hair textures. I would only recommend this for curly girls and if your curls are medium to coarse and coarse hair. Only because this is a super thick butter. And the way that I use this is I use this on my dirty hair days when I'm throwing my hair up in a bun. So I almost use it as a styler and a mask in one, so that when I take my bun out, my hair, and obviously wash my hair, my curls are really moisturized. Again, I do bleach and color treat my hair a lot. So this has been coming in handy for just like an overall treatment and kind of like bringing my hair back to life in a way. But yeah, this is another one of my favorites. And go ahead, Vic, tell us your beautiful hair. What's in it?
Oh my goodness, all Ava, honestly. I use so much product. Actually, that's why this is my favorite. So the detox. I wash my hair like twice a week. I'm one of those also. But like I said, I use a lot of product, like that frizz, the ends treatment is the only thing that will control my frizz. And I do have frizzy hair. Like my ends get really dry, and that stuff is like, you're right, Danny. changes the whole look of your hair. It's amazing. But I use this because I just feel like my hair gets really dirty after not washing it for a while. And this makes my hair and my scalp feel so clean. And like, it's like that squeaky clean, but like not drying at all. Like it just feels fresh and like, it just feels so good. Like after I do this, I feel like I just had a whole spa treatment. It's amazing. So yes, this is a must. I love, love, love. And then my go-to, because I also have dry hair, the Hydra conditioner. So this I really love to actually like leave in sometimes. So on my wash days, I'll like go to the gym when I make it to the gym, put my hair in a bun, go to the gym, work out, have this in for like an hour as like a treatment, go home, rinse it out. And when I tell you guys, my hair feels like butter. It feels like butter. It is so soft, so smooth. But yeah, this is like the best hydrating conditioner I've used. And I've used a lot and been very disappointed, but this one works really, really good. So if you have dry hair, I highly recommend this. Yeah.
Awesome. I do want to just quickly jump in because, you know, Danny, Big, and we don't wash our hair every day. And with the Eva products, you can with Eva, you can be true to your routine. You can wash every day, or you can wash every other day or every 3 or 4 days. The products work with your hair and your scalp and again, your routine. So don't feel like you need to wash your hair every day, but then again, don't feel like you need to wash your hair every other 2 or 3 days. So that's what I love about, you know, just this conversation and the products in general is that we can use it in the way that we need to use it and what works best for us. I just want to.
I do wash my hair every day and I have bleach hair, so it can get like extremely like dry. But I have like super, super greasy, I don't know, scalp. And I use the orange one. I don't have it with me right now because my family is like stole everything from me, basically. They love it. And they leave like 5 floors, you know, up, and they come down and get my stuff from Eva and never return it. So that's why I don't have it right now. But I use the vitamin recharge orange one like every single day, and it will make your hair look super nice. And also maybe sometimes when I think that is a little bit dry because of the bleaching, I will do the one with olive oil, like the original one. That one is perfect too. So those cleansing balms really work super perfect if you wash your hair every day. I do wash my hair every day, and and it's super, super good. And the detox also, like I love the detox, and it also helps whenever you like, I don't know, sometimes you have to walk, maybe if you live in a city or something, and you have to run errands, and you go and then you come back with the greasy, like really greasy hair with all that things in your head. Definitely do the detox, and that's like a spa treatment, just like Big said. It really, really helps you out. So yeah.
Love that. We'll definitely leave below our favorite products that we talked about and also just honorable mentions that we didn't show you today because there's a lot of different products that can be flipped and dipped and utilized in how you want to use it. So we'll definitely leave all the links below. Yeah. That is going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've made it this far, we actually have a 30% off sale off of our favorites, again, that we will link below. So you can get 30% off and try some of our favorites here. We just want to thank you for joining us again, and there will be plenty more Zoom podcasts to come. We definitely want to talk more about our products, how they're used, a little bit more in depth, maybe meeting more of the team. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.
Okay.